There are over 30,000 medicinal plants on Earth, but only a handful have actually been proven to work. Not by tradition, not by influencers, but by hundreds, sometimes thousands of clinical trials. And here's the crazy part. One of the plants on this list has more published research than some pharmaceutical drugs. Another helped win a Nobel Prize. And one literally created the modern pharmaceutical industry. If you want content where ancient medicine is tested against modern science, subscribe now, because this channel is built for that. So, today we are ranking the 7 most powerful medicinal plants on Earth, based purely on scientific evidence. No myths, no marketing, just data. And number 1, it's probably already in your kitchen. Let us count down. Number 7, garlic, the universal protector. Garlic, Allium sativum, has appeared in more of our videos than almost any other plant. The Egyptians gave it to pyramid builders. The Greeks fed it to Olympic athletes. The Romans gave it to soldiers. The Bible mentions it. Chinese medicine prescribes it. And indigenous cultures across the world independently discovered its medicinal value. When a plant is used medicinally by every major civilization on Earth, independently of one another, that is convergent evidence on a scale that is hard to ignore. Think about what that means. The Egyptians did not learn about garlic from the Chinese. The Chinese did not learn about it from the Greeks. The Native Americans had no contact with any of them. And yet every single one of these civilizations independently discovered that garlic protects health. That is not cultural transmission. That is observation so universal, it transcends geography. Modern science has responded with over 5,000 published studies on garlic. A 2020 meta-analysis published in the journal Nutrients reviewed 39 randomized controlled trials and confirmed that garlic supplementation significantly reduces systolic and diastolic blood pressure, total cholesterol, and LDL cholesterol while increasing HDL cholesterol. The compound allicin, released when garlic is crushed, has confirmed antibacterial, antiviral, antifungal, and immune-boosting properties. Additional research shows garlic may reduce the risk of certain cancers, particularly stomach and colorectal cancer. For maximum benefit, crush or chop fresh garlic and let it sit for 10 minutes before cooking. This activates the enzyme alliinase, which converts align into allicin. Studies typically use the equivalent of 1 to 2 fresh cloves daily. Number 6, ginger, the universal medicine. The Ayurvedic name for ginger is Vishwabhesaj. It literally means the universal medicine. After 5,000 years of continuous use and hundreds of modern clinical trials, that name holds up. A 2019 systematic review published in Nutrients compiled evidence from 109 randomized controlled trials on ginger. 109. To put that in perspective, many prescription drugs receive Food and Drug Administration approval based on 2 or 3 pivotal clinical trials. Ginger has 109. That makes it one of the most clinically tested medicinal plants in existence. The findings confirm significant benefits for nausea during pregnancy, chemotherapy-induced nausea, post-operative nausea, motion sickness, osteoarthritis pain, blood sugar management, and muscle soreness after exercise. The active compounds gingerol and shogaol have confirmed anti-inflammatory and antioxidant properties. What makes ginger extraordinary is the sheer breadth of conditions it has been shown to help with across rigorous clinical testing. Most medicinal plants are good at 1 or 2 things. Ginger keeps showing up across dozens of categories. Number 5, ginseng, the king of adaptogens. Ginseng, Panax ginseng, is the most valued herb in both Chinese and Korean traditional medicine. It has been used for over 3,000 years and has accumulated one of the largest clinical research libraries of any plant. A 2018 comprehensive review in the Journal of Ginseng Research analyzed evidence from multiple human trials and confirmed that ginseng contains over 40 ginsenosides with neuroprotective, immunomodulatory, anti-fatigue, anti-inflammatory, and anti-diabetic effects. Clinical studies have shown improvements in cognitive function, physical endurance, immune response, erectile function, and blood sugar control. What places ginseng on this list is not just the number of studies, but the consistency of results across multiple research teams, multiple countries, and multiple decades. When Korean, Chinese, American, and European researchers all independently confirm the same effects. That is as close to scientific consensus as herbal medicine gets. Number 4. Artemisia annua, the Nobel Prize plant. If you watched our Chinese herbs video, you already know this story. But it belongs on this list because no other medicinal plant in history has achieved what Artemisia annua has achieved. In the 1960s, Chinese scientist Tu Youyou was tasked with finding a malaria cure. She reviewed over 2,000 ancient Chinese remedies. She found the answer in a text written by Ge Hong in 340 AD, which described using sweet wormwood for intermittent fever. The critical detail was the extraction method, cold water, not boiling, to avoid destroying the active compound. She isolated artemisinin. It became the World Health Organization's first-line treatment for malaria worldwide. It has saved millions of lives, particularly children across sub-Saharan Africa. In 2015, Tu Youyou won the Nobel Prize in Medicine. No other medicinal plant has won a Nobel Prize. No other medicinal plant has been adopted as a global first-line treatment by the World Health Organization. Artemisinin-based combination therapies are currently estimated to have saved over 6 million lives since their adoption. 6 million, from a single compound found in a single ancient text. Artemisia annua stands alone, and now research is expanding into artemisinin's potential anti-cancer properties. A 2025 review published in the journal PMC compiled evidence that artemisinin derivatives exhibit anti-proliferative, pro-apoptotic, and anti-metastatic effects across multiple cancer cell lines. Early clinical trials are underway combining artemisinin with chemotherapy. The plant that won a Nobel Prize for malaria may not be finished making history. Number 3. Willow bark, the plant that built pharma. At number 3, we have the plant that literally created the modern pharmaceutical industry. Willow bark, Salix alba, was used by the ancient Greeks, by Native Americans, and by cultures across the world to treat pain, fever, and inflammation. Hippocrates wrote about willow bark in the 4th century BC. Cherokee, Iroquois, and Blackfoot tribes chewed it for headaches across the Atlantic. Neither civilization knew the other existed. Both discovered the same medicine from the same tree. In 1828, Johann Buchner isolated salicin from willow bark. In 1853, Charles Frederick Gerhardt synthesized acetyl salicylic acid. But the compound sat in a laboratory for nearly 50 years. Then in 1897, a biochemist named Felix Hoffmann rediscovered it while searching for a pain remedy that would not irritate his father's stomach. By 1899, Bayer branded it as aspirin and began mass production. It became the first drug ever sold in tablet form, the first mass-produced pharmaceutical in human history. Over 100 billion tablets are consumed every year, but aspirin did not stop at pain relief. Decades later, modern research revealed that low-dose aspirin reduces the risk of heart attack, stroke, and colorectal cancer. It is on the World Health Organization's list of essential medicines. It is the single most impactful drug ever derived from a plant. And the entire concept of a pharmaceutical company synthesizing, branding, and mass-producing a drug in standardized tablet form began with willow bark. Every pill you have ever swallowed exists in that form because of what Bayer did with this plant in 1899. We are in the top 2 now, and these final 2 plants have accumulated more research evidence than most people realize is possible for a natural compound. Number 2. Aloe Vera, the plant of immortality. The Egyptians called it the plant of immortality. Cleopatra used it daily. Nefertiti incorporated it into her beauty routine. The dead were embalmed with aloe because the Egyptians believed its antibacterial properties could slow decay and grant something closer to eternal preservation. Alexander the Great conquered the island of Socotra off the coast of modern Yemen, specifically to secure aloe supplies for treating his army's battlefield wounds. That is a military campaign launched to acquire a medicinal plant. Think about the scale of that decision. Aloe has been used continuously for over 6,000 years. documented as far back as the Ebers Papyrus of 1550 BC. And modern science has responded with an extraordinary volume of research. A 2019 systematic review in the journal Burns analyzed 23 clinical studies and confirmed that aloe vera significantly accelerates wound healing compared to conventional treatments. But wound healing is just the beginning. Aloe vera contains over 200 bioactive compounds, including acemanin, anthraquinones, vitamins, minerals, enzymes, and amino acids. The compound acemanin stimulates macrophage activity, boosting immune response at the cellular level. Research has confirmed benefits for burn treatment, skin hydration, sunburn recovery, oral health, blood sugar management, digestive health, and immune support. A 2016 meta-analysis found that aloe vera significantly improved fasting, blood glucose, and HbA1c levels in pre-diabetic and type 2 diabetic patients. What makes aloe remarkable is the sheer range of validated applications. Most plants are specialists. Aloe is a generalist with evidence across dermatology, endocrinology, gastroenterology, and immunology. 6,000 years of continuous use. Over 200 bioactive compounds. Clinical evidence across multiple medical specialties. The Egyptians were not wrong to call it the plant of immortality. Number 1. Turmeric, the golden champion. And here we are, the most scientifically studied medicinal plant on Earth. Turmeric, Curcuma longa. There are now over 10,000 published scientific studies on turmeric and its primary active compound, curcumin. 10,000. No other medicinal plant comes close. A 2023 scoping review published in the International Journal of Molecular Sciences analyzed 389 clinical trials on oral curcumin supplementation across human diseases. 389 clinical trials on a single plant compound. The evidence covers arthritis, depression, metabolic syndrome, cardiovascular disease, inflammatory bowel disease, liver disease, neurological conditions, skin conditions, and multiple forms of cancer prevention. A 2020 meta-analysis in critical reviews in food science and nutrition confirmed that curcumin has anti-inflammatory effects comparable to pharmaceutical non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs without the gastrointestinal side effects. But there is an important caveat that makes turmeric's story even more fascinating. Curcumin on its own has very poor bioavailability. Your body absorbs almost none of it. For decades, this was considered a serious limitation. Then researchers discovered something remarkable. Piperine, the active compound in black pepper, increases curcumin absorption by up to 2,000%. And here is the extraordinary part. Ayurvedic physicians have been combining turmeric with black pepper in formulations for over 1,000 years. They called the combination trikatu. They did not know about bioavailability or intestinal absorption, but they observed that turmeric worked better when combined with pepper. And modern pharmacokinetic research has proven them exactly right. Research is also actively exploring curcumin's ability to cross the blood-brain barrier and reduce amyloid plaque formation associated with Alzheimer's disease. But here is the part that elevates turmeric above everything else on this list. It is not just the volume of research. It is the fact that Ayurvedic physicians identified turmeric as a rasayana, a rejuvenating herb for the entire body, over 4,000 years ago. They prescribed it for wounds, joint pain, digestive problems, skin conditions, liver health, and as a daily longevity tonic. 4,000 years later, modern science has tested it in over 10,000 studies and confirmed effects in virtually every category the ancient texts described. That is not coincidence. That is 4 millennia of clinical observation validated by the most rigorous tools modern science has available. For maximum absorption, combine turmeric with black pepper. The compound piperine increases curcumin bioavailability by up to 2,000%. This pairing is an ancient Ayurvedic practice that modern pharmacology has fully validated. A typical therapeutic dose is 500 to 1,000 milligrams of curcumin extract daily. And that completes our ranking of the 7 most powerful medicinal plants on Earth, according to published scientific evidence. Let us recap. Number 7, garlic. Over 5,000 studies. used independently by every major civilization. Number 6. Ginger. 109 randomized controlled trials. The universal medicine lives up to its name. Number 5. Ginseng. 3,000 years of continuous use. Cross-continental scientific validation. Number 4. Artemisia annua. The only medicinal plant to win a Nobel Prize. Millions of lives saved. Number 3. Willow bark. The plant that created the pharmaceutical industry. 100 billion aspirin tablets are consumed every year. Number 2. Aloe Vera. 6,000 years of documented use. Over 200 bioactive compounds. Clinical evidence across multiple medical specialties. Number 1. Turmeric. Over 10,000 published studies. 389 clinical trials. The most researched medicinal plant in human history. 7 plants. 6 continents of traditional use. Tens of thousands of published studies. And one clear conclusion. The ancient healers were not guessing. If this changed the way you think about medicinal plants, subscribe to the Green Domain. Because next we are investigating the forgotten herbal traditions of the Roman Empire. Drop a comment and tell me which ranking surprised you the most. And if you missed our Greek, Egyptian, Ayurvedic, Biblical, Chinese, and Indigenous videos, all the links are in the description. Ancient wisdom, modern proof, real results. I will see you in the next one.